MJ, how would you describe Tyler Nichols' game on the offensive side of the ball?
I would say he's a very elite shooter. Being 6'8", being able to shoot the ball the way he can is really going to help our offense this year. He's a great driver and finishes well at the rim, so I believe him being on our team this year is really going to help us space the floor, like I said, with the way he can shoot.
How nice was it to add somebody like him and somebody like a Robbie Duran as well?
It only helps us. Of course, Robbie is, I think, a fifth-year senior, so just his experience, helping the younger guys and, of course, helping the people that's back this year, with his experience is really going to help us this year with his IQ and things like that.
Hey, MJ, how you doing this morning, sir?
I'm good. How about you?
Doing good, sir. I got to ask you, sir, the experience
Recording in
of last
progress.
year, how you feel that'll help you this year?
I feel like it'll really help me a lot. Since as a freshman, I got most minutes that I would say most freshmen didn't get. So I feel like I have a step ahead. This year, I've seen a lot more plays last year. So this year, I feel like it'll just be more second nature to me when we're going over stuff. When games start, seeing different plays, I feel like I'll be adapted to it much quicker than I was last year.
Hey MJ, Coach and Malijah both talked about how injuries obviously impacted you guys. I know you dealt with your injury. Do you feel as if that kind of hampered you guys at times last season, having to deal with guys in and out of the rotation, and different guys having to step into different roles?
Most definitely. Rodney getting hurt kind of hurt us. Everybody was expecting him to play early on. Then when he came back, he played, I think, 2 games, then was out again with his pinky. Then came back, and then I believe Hunter got hurt. We went on a 7-game losing streak. Hunter being a vital piece to our team, really hurt us, especially in the ACC play. And, when you missing, your key players, you start to look around like, what are we going to do next? Who we going to put in? And, it kind of messes up the team chemistry at times because, you're trying to figure out what everybody else is, like what are their roles, what is their strengths and weaknesses all throughout the season. So, I really believe that kind of hurt us, especially when Darius went down as well. So, I feel like it was a long and tough season for us last year.
What's something that you learned getting to play with a guy like Justin Musz?
Uh, I learned that night in, night out, you got to bring it every night. Justin Musz had a lot of energy every night, and stuff like that carries on to a team. That's positive energy. He always kept me in his corner. Talked to me. Kind of guided me through the ins and out of Coach Young's program and things like that. So I kind of taken that what he told me last year and bringing it to the program this year.
Losing guys like him and Grant, do you feel like you guys have what it takes inside that locker room to replace some of that production?
I really do. Bringing in Robbie, and then we still have Hunt here. Sean. So I think we'll still be in a solid situation with those two being gone.
MJ, what's the biggest area of your game offensively that you think you grew in during the offseason?
Being consistently shooting a consistent 3-ball. I feel like that kind of, it was ups and downs with that last year. I believe I started shooting the ball well towards the end of the season. But this year I feel like it should be a great year with me shooting the 3-ball, which will open up more things offensively for the rest of the guys.
Expanding on that, do you feel like the 3-ball is your biggest goal for the season to really develop that?
I would say, Coach Young, he loves people that can shoot the ball, and it's, of course, spaces the floor and opens up things for everybody else. So I believe me being able to make those open threes is really going to help our team and take us to the next level.
Please raise your hands for questions for MJ. David, kick us off.
MJ, Coach Young mentioned to us earlier that he feels like he has stressed defense a little more this preseason because he wasn't satisfied with last year's defense. Is that something that has been noticeable to you guys this first, 6 practices?
Can you? Oh, oh yeah. Defense is something that's really going to be needed to help us win games this year. I feel like last year we didn't do a good job on the ball and off the ball this year. And I believe he told me yesterday that he needs me to be able to guard the other team's best offensive player, so it can take some pressure off of Hunter to where he's not, having to make all the shots and guard the other team's best player, which is wearing him down. So I honestly do believe that defense is a big focal point this year.
So when your coach comes to you and says, I need you to guard the other team's best offensive player, does that kind of give you a sense of confidence? I don't think he'd tell that to just anybody.
Oh yes, most definitely. That kind of sparks a fire in me, knowing that, my head coach is wanting me to go out there and he's challenging me to be able to guard the other team's best offensive player. And, I feel like at that point the team is also counting on me as well. So, I don't want to let my coaches or my teammates down when they're relying on me to do something as big as that.
Back to you in the room, Brian.
How impactful has Hunter's return been for you for a guy for you to look up to, just sort of as you go into year two?
It's been huge. Me and Hunter, we joke a lot all the time, during practice. He's kind of been that leader to me, I would say, last year, which is, kind of helped me into the role this year. He's kind of teaching me the ropes of, taking over next year once he leaves. So, being there, helping the younger guys and just continuing to uplift everybody and lead has been really good for us, which is a big point of why I believe he came back.
I know, obviously, the game didn't end in your favor, but in that the ACC tournament game where Rodney kind of went off, I felt like that was maybe a glimpse of what we might be able to see from him this year. Do you feel like Hokie fans are going to maybe be a little surprised by what they see from him this season?
I would say, yeah, because, you didn't see it all last year. You only seen, like you said, glimpses. Rodney is a great player. He can shoot the ball. He's unselfish. I honestly believe that with the backcourt that we have this year, I feel like the ACC will be in trouble with a healthy Hokies backcourt.